Welcome back, everyone. In this video, we are going to write our sign-up sagas. Now, the sign-up sagas are a little bit more interesting. The reason why is because we're probably going to have to make it in multiple steps. If you remember with how our sign-up form component works, is that when the user submits the form, we check if their password matches. If it does, then what we do is we create an auth user with the email and password. So this creates a user auth for us, very similar to Google sign in. Once we get that user auth object, then we manually trigger create user document from auth. The reason being that when you sign up, you are not signed in. So signing up and signing in with that signed up user are two different steps. We did merge the actual sign in step with generating the actual user document from the user auth. So that is an additional thing that we will need to do. So when breaking up the saga, these are probably going to be two sagas. One to create the user and one to sign in the user with the signed up user. So the first thing we need to do is inside of our action types, create the three new action types for sign up. So we'll say sign up start, user slash, and then we need sign up success, user slash, and then we need sign up failed. And then we'll create the corresponding actions. So the first thing we need is that when we sign up start, we are going to receive the email, the password, and the display name, because those are the only fields that we ask them to fill in. From here, we are going to create a new action using our new sign up start. And then we'll pass an object as the payload where we have the email, the password, and the display name. We also need this sign up success. So with sign up success, let's think about what it is that we're going to get back. We're going to get back that user auth object, and then we need any additional details that we're going to store for that user. For us, that's most likely going to be the display name that gets passed through. And if we in the future choose to add more fields, we'll have to also add those in here, but those are all going to fall under this category of additional details. So here I'm going to say sign up success is going to be us receiving an object where we have the user and the additional details. We're going to say create action, calling user action types dot sign up success, and then we're just going to pass through the user and the additional details. So here, because this is the same, we can technically actually tweak this a bit. Maybe we can make it so that when we call sign up success, we get them as separate fields, which we then aggregate inside of this object. This might be much more clear rather than actually passing an object. And then finally, we need our sign up failed, which is just going to give us an error. And we'll call create action on user action types dot sign up failed. And here we'll pass the error as the payload. So let's start actually writing the sagas with these three new actions. So first, what we're going to do is we need the entry point saga. So I'm going to say export function on sign up start. This is going to yield take latest on user action types dot sign up start. And here I'm going to call sign up, which is the name of this generator that I've yet to write. So here, let's create it. We'll say export function star sign up. We receive the action. Off the action, we just want the payload. And off the payload, we're going to get the email, the password, as well as the display name. And now what we're going to do is we are going to attempt to create this user auth object. So of course, we have our try catch block. And then we need to actually bring in the method that we had created in our Firebase utils, our create auth user with email and password. So importing it in, we're going to say yield call create auth user with email and password. And here we're just going to pass email and password. We don't do anything yet with a display name. When this call succeeds, what we get back again is an auth object that we've already seen before. So this is on the user key as we've done so far up to this point. And once that succeeds, what we'll do is we'll say, hey, we have succeeded in signing up. So we'll create that sign up success method. Now this is that action that we had just created right here. And what we're doing is we're dispatching sign up success. Sign up success doesn't actually do anything to our reducers. It's not for the reducers. It's for our user Saga. So we need to create yet even another entry Saga for on sign up success. And here we're going to yield take latest our user action types dot sign up success. So we're listening for sign up success. And once that happens, we are going to trigger a sign in after sign up generator. So this is where, as I mentioned, we need to break up the two steps. So we'll need another generator, and this generator is going to receive the action that we had made for sign up success. So it's going to get a payload of user and additional details on the action. So we're going to want to destructure off payload, the user and the additional details. And then we're going to yield all of these values to our get snapshot from user auth. And there we go. That is our sign in after sign up generator. So what we need to do now is just make sure that we're actually passing the appropriate values to our sign up success. So sign up success is going to get user and additional details as two values. So let's set that up where we pass them in as user and then the additional details as an object with just display name. And then that's pretty much all we need for the try section. As far as the catch section, we need to yield out the put as we always do, where we have sign up failed and we pass the error. And now that we have these, we need to make sure that we're also listening for them inside of our Saga. So we'll call both on sign up start and sign up success. And then once we're all listening, we need to make sure our sign up form now is actually dispatching sign up start. So here what we'll do is we will bring in our hook so that we have access to dispatch. And we also need to bring in the appropriate sign up start action creator. And then we need to get the dispatch from the use dispatch hook. And then with dispatch, we now replace this method right here with our dispatch, our sign up start, and then we pass it the email, the password, and the display name. So we save this. We have everything set up. So now let's sign in. Let's use my good friend Mo, who builds the React Native course. I'm going to say mo@gmail. And now if I sign up, we see that we have our sign up success, and we see that we have our sign in success. Inside of here, if we look inside of our user and our current user, you may notice that there's something odd here in the fact that we only have our ID, but not the other values. This is actually something that's a little bit annoying about Firebase with this create user through email and password. Sometimes this is a little slower. And what it's doing is it's rectifying and actually trying to rewrite this. This might actually be an error with V9. I'm not fully sure, but if you refresh, because we know we've successfully signed in, if you now check inside of your current user, you actually see all of those other fields that we had. So this is one tiny little tweak that actually happens that we got to watch out for. But at the very least, we know that on our side, as far as our code is correct, that's all that really matters. But here we go. We have our sign up and then we have our sign in. So this is a really monstrous and challenging part of the course. Absolutely. A lot of new concepts, a lot of coordination, a lot of new patterns with generators we haven't learned before. But before we move on, there's still one more, which is sign out. So I do want you to try and figure it out yourself first. If not, join me in the next video. We'll code out sign out together. I'll see you in the next video.